Dear Evan Hansen is a film adaptation of the smash Broadway play of the same name. This film stars Ben Platt from the original Broadway play, Julianne Moore, Caitlin Dever, and Amy Adams. It tells the story of Evan Hansen, who is a high school senior with social anxiety disorder. And this film is all about his journey of self-discovery and acceptance following the suicide of a fellow classmate. Now, I was lucky enough to see the original play in an off-Broadway showing, and surprisingly enough, I barely remember really anything from the play. Obviously, I knew what it was about. I remembered some scenes here and there, but for the most part, the play just kind of went totally out of my mind, and I really didn't remember much going into this movie. And when I saw the trailer for this movie a couple months back, I was really excited. It actually gave me goosebumps as I was watching it. And when I get goosebumps watching a trailer, you know it looks good. So going into this one, I was very excited. And though it did take me a while to warm up to this movie, in the end, I did find myself quite enjoying it. The first thing we gotta mention is Ben Platt. When everyone saw the trailer for this movie, they were like, oh, he's too old. Oh, he can't play a high schooler. And yeah, he's not a high schooler. He's almost 30. So obviously he doesn't look like a high schooler. And yes, after seeing the movie, I can agree that he does feel very miscast here. I feel like they really had a good opportunity to go find some nobody who will just blow everyone away in the lead role of Evan Hansen. I think if they got an absolute newcomer to come into the role, it would have worked a lot more in its favor. In fact, Ben Platt is one of the bigger issues of this movie. It does feel like he is trying very hard. There are some scenes that do feel like he's overacting. Don't get me wrong, this guy is a talented dude. He has a spectacular voice. He is a solid actor. I love him in Pitch Perfect. Just in here, he doesn't really work. The two actors that do work for me are Caitlin Dever and Colton Ryan in a smaller role in the film. I've never seen Caitlin Dever in anything. I know she's in Booksmart. I still have to check it out, but she is very good in this film. She has a great singing voice, and she is a great actress, especially in the more darker moments of the film. And then when you go over to Colton Ryan, this isn't really a spoiler, but he does play the character that kills himself in the film. And for the small screen time that he did have, he really did make an impact on this film. Let's talk about Amy Adams and Julianne Moore for just a quick second though. Julianne Moore did not do it for me in this movie. She also feels like she's overacting in scenes, and her line delivery was often cringy, as well as Amy Adams, who has had a rough streak recently. I think Amy Adams is a spectacular actress. She's one of the best working actresses today, but in this movie, she really brings absolutely nothing. You would hope that such a big name like Amy Adams would bring something to a movie like this, and she really doesn't do anything. It also does feel like she's overacting in scenes just like Julianne Moore, and it just didn't really work for me. Transitioning over to the music though. Just like the play, the music is once again fantastic here. They don't really add much new songs. There's maybe 2 new songs, if I'm thinking correctly. There's not really that many new songs. It doesn't mean that the songs from the play aren't good anymore. They still fit. I still have Waving Through a Window stuck in my head. Sincerely Me really was a fun time in this movie. I'm definitely adding that one to my playlist. And of course, You Will Be Found, which really gave me goosebumps. Like I mentioned briefly, some of the line delivery does feel very odd and often cringy. I do feel like the dialogue could have used some rewrites, but then you also have the actors who aren't really delivering the lines all that great. The movie is overly long, clocking in at almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. You really could chop this down to under 2 hours. And it's very melodramatic, which really won't work for some people. For me, it didn't really bother me all that much. That's really where I can see some people having a big issue with this film. 2 words that I've been hearing being tossed around often when talking about this movie from other critics is that this film is emotionally manipulative. Now, I wouldn't tend to agree with that. I can see where people will have problems with this movie. So if you don't like this movie, that is completely fine. I can totally see where you're coming from. But for me, Dear Evan Hansen tells such a special story that I don't feel like we get enough of in film. Perks of Being a Wallflower is one of my favorite movies ever, which is funny enough also from Steven Chbosky, who directed this film. You can definitely see the similarities between one another. The Perks of Being a Wallflower is another film that tackles mental health. In that film, I feel like it's done to almost perfection for me. This film doesn't compare to Perks. That is such a phenomenal movie, and this is down here. There's a pretty big gap between the two. But because it has such great music, Two standout performances from Caitlin Dever and Colton Ryan in such a powerful and poignant story. For the most part, I do feel like this film succeeded in what it was trying to say and the story it was trying to tell. I'm gonna give Dear Evan Hansen a B-. Again, I can totally see if you don't like this movie. If you don't like this movie, let me know down below what you didn't like about it. I would love to have that nice discussion down below. But if you also did enjoy the movie like I did, definitely let me know what you liked about it. And guys, thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, do give it a like, subscribe, and make sure to turn that notification bell on to get notified whenever new videos like this go live. Look forward to more reviews coming soon. My name is Ben, people call me Meter, and I'll see you guys in the next one.